यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रव्राज कचार्य अष्टोत्तरश श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रव्राज कचार्य अष्टोत्तरश श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचर शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री श्री राधा रास बिहारी भगवान की जय श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय श्री श्री गौर निधाय की जय निधाई गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड श्री गौरांगा ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, Chapter 82, chapter entitled Krishna and Balaram Meet the Inhabitants of Vrindavan. Since we are starting the chapter, so I'll also read this 1.5 page of summary after we recite the verse. Text 1. We'll do text 1 and 2. We'll recite 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Athai Dwarvatyam Vasato Ramakrishnaya Surya Paragah Sumahan Asit Kalpashay Yatha Shri Shuka Uvacha Athai Dwaratyam Vasato Ramakrishnaya Suryo Paragah Sumahan Asit Kalpashay Yatha Shri Shuka Uvacha Athai Dwaravatyam Vasato Ramakrishnaya Suryo Paragah Sumahan Asit Kalpakshay Yatha Vasato Ramakrishnaya Matajis Athai Dwaravatyam Word meaning Shri Shuka Vacha Shukdev Goswami said Athaha then Ekada on one occasion Dwaravatyam in Dwarka Vasataha while they were living Ramakrishnaya Balram and Krishna Surya of the sun Uparagaha an eclipse Sumahan very great Asit there was Kalpa of Lord Brahma's day Shay at the end Yatha as if. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, once while Balaram and Krishna were living in Dwarka, there occurred a great eclipse of the sun, just as if the end of Lord Brahma's one day had come. Purport. As Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out, the words Atha and Ekada are commonly used in Sanskrit literature to introduce a new topic. Here they especially indicate that the reunion of the Yadus and Vrishnis at Kurukshetra is being narrated out of chronological sequence. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains in his Vaishnava Toshni commentary that the events of this 82nd chapter occur after Lord Baladev's visit to Vraja, 65th chapter, and before Maharaj Yudhishthir's Rajasuya sacrifice, which is chapter 74. This must be so. The Acharya reasons, since during the eclipse at Kurukshetra, all the Kurus, including Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthir, Bhishma, and Drona, met in friendship and happily shared the company of Sri Krishna. At the Rajasuya Yagya, on the other hand, Duryodhana's jealousy against the Pandavas became irrevocably inflamed. Soon after this, Duryodhana challenged Yudhishthir and his brothers to the gambling match, in which he cheated them of their kingdom and exiled them to the forest. Right after the Pandavas returned from exile, the great battle of Kurukshetra took place, during which Bhishma and Drona were killed. So it is not logically possible for the solar eclipse at Kurukshetra to have happened after the Rajasuya Yagya or sacrifice. Please repeat the translation. Shukdev Goswami said, once, while Balaram and Krishna were living in Dwarka, there occurred a great eclipse of the sun, just as if the end of Lord Brahma's day had come. Text 2 also we'll read. Tam gyatva manuja rajan purastad eva sarvatah samanta panchakam kshetram yayu shreyo viditsaya. Knowing of this eclipse in advance, O king, many people went to the holy place known as Samanta Panchak in order to earn pious credit. Purport. Vedic astronomers of 5,000 years ago could predict eclipses of the sun and moon just as well as our modern astronomers can. The knowledge of the ancient astronomers went much further. However, since they understood the karmic influence of such events, solar and lunar eclipses are generally very inauspicious, with certain rare exceptions. But just as the otherwise inauspicious Ekadashi day, listen this very carefully. But just as the otherwise inauspicious Ekadashi day becomes beneficial when used for the glorification of Lord Hari, so the time of an eclipse is also advantageous for fasting and worship. The holy pilgrimage site known as Samanta Panchaka is located at Kurukshetra, the sacred ground of the Kurus, where the Kuru kings' predecessors performed many Vedic sacrifices. The Kurus were advised by the learned Brahmanas that this would be the best place for them to observe vows during the eclipse. Long before their time, Lord Parshuram had done penance at Kurukshetra to atone for his killings. Samanta Panchak, the 5 ponds he dug there, were still present at the end of Dwapar Yuga as they are even today. I'll just read the summary of this chapter. This chapter describes how the Yadavas and many other kings met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse and discussed topics concerning Lord Krishna. It also relates how Krishna met Nanda Maharaj and other residents of Vrindavan at Kurukshetra and gave them great joy. Hearing that a total eclipse of the sun was soon to occur, people from all over Bharatvarsh, including the Yadavas, converged at Kurukshetra to earn special pious credit. After the Yadus had bathed, and performed other obligatory rituals, they noticed that kings of Matsya, Ushinara, and other places had also come, as well as Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd community of Braja, who were feeling the intense anxiety of separation from Krishna. The Yadavas, overjoyed to see all these old friends, embraced them one by one as they shed tears of happiness. Their wives also embraced one another with great pleasure. When Queen Kunti saw her brother Vasudev and other members of her family, she put aside her sorrow. Yet she said to Vasudev, "O brother, I am so unfortunate because all of you forgot me during my tribulations. Alas, even one's relatives forget a person whom providence no longer favors." Vasudev replied, "My dear sister, everyone is merely a plaything of fate. We Yadavas were so harassed by Kamsa that we were forced to scatter and take shelter in foreign lands. So there was no way for us to keep in touch with you." The kings present were struck with wonder upon beholding Lord Krishna and his wives, and they began to glorify the Yadavas for having gotten the Lord's personal association. Seeing Nanda Maharaj, the Yadavas were delighted and each of them embraced him tightly. Vasudeva also embraced Nanda with great joy and remembered how, when Vasudeva was tormented by Kamsa, Nanda had taken his sons Krishna and Balaram under his protection. Balaram and Krishna embraced and bowed down to Mother Yashoda, but their throats choked up with emotion and they could say nothing to her. Nanda and Yashoda lifted their two sons onto their laps and embraced them. And in this way, they relieved the distress of separation. Rohini and Devaki both embraced Yashoda and remembering the great friendship she had shown them, told her that the kindness she had done by raising and supporting Krishna and Balaram could not be repaid even with the wealth of Indra. Then the Supreme Lord approached the young cowherd girls in a secluded place. He consoled them by pointing out that He is all pervasive, being the source of all energies, and thus He implied that they could never be separated from Him. Having been at long last reunited with Krishna, the gopis prayed simply to have His lotus feet manifest in their hearts. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsya Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminate Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyada Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishamanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubheshya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, seeking blessing from all the Vaishnavas, especially Maharaj, to bless me so that I can try to repeat the words spoken by our great Acharyas in this greatest of the literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, very interesting. And that's why it's good to read summary because we know what is coming. It's a very important chapter for Gaudiya Vaishnavas because this is the chapter where Lord Krishna will show his highest ecstasy, and Jagannath Rath Yatra will manifest. Once one devotee told me that, Prabhuji, I don't feel attraction to the form of Jagannath, I feel attracted to Lord Krishna. I said, that's all right, no issues. He said, but why I don't feel? I said, because you do not know. When devotees come in ecstasy, what happens? And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in ecstasy in the for Krishna, in separation of Krishna, then what happens? And when then same Krishna comes in ecstasy, imagine what will happen to this creation. Entire creation maybe, might be swaying left and right. Then he becomes Jagannath. And swaying back and forth, he mounts his chariot, and his chariot also sways. Imagine the supreme creator of the creation is in ecstasy. This is the chapter. Kurukshetra. You can still go there. Don't go now. After marathon you can plan. Makar Sankranti is coming. After Makar Sankranti. So there's a temple of Radha Krishna. It's managed by Gaudiya Math devotees. Right in front of Brahmak Sarovar. That is the place where Radha and Krishna met in Kurukshetra. That is the exact place. So even though this, Shukadeva Goswami speaks in, few times he speaks in Bhagavatam that I will not speak in chronological order. Especially Krishna Lila, whatever comes he is speaking. It's not, everything is not in chronology. And here, Sanatan Goswami Pad, he explains this. But when I was going through the chapters, the title of the chapters, see how it's arranged. In the previous two chapters, Krishna has come in ecstasy with Sudama. Again, very, very, very important teachings for sadhakas. Anyone who wants to attain Krishna, Krishna demands that you leave everything, then only you can attain me. Either me or the creation. Krishna proposes to everyone same thing. He told Duryodhana and Arjun same thing. You want me without anything? Or you want the entire army? Even Ravana. Ram said, I'll leave you. You leave Sita. So Ravana, even though he was son of Brahmana, if he would have been little more practically intelligent, he would have accepted Ram. So Krishna expresses every time, if you want me, then only me. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Devi esha gunamai mama maya durattaya maya metan tarantite. Mam eva ye prapadyante. Mam eva. Only me. So many times in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, only me. So very important chapter for sadhakas of Sudama Brahmin. What austerities Sudama Brahmin had performed, being a grihastha, even for brahmacharis, is appears very impossible in this age. So that ecstasy of Krishna is in form of, is exchanged as a rasa, which is Sakhya ras. It's nowhere mentioned, but I'm saying the chapters, how it's unfolding. And then in this, he meets Nanda and Yashoda after decades. And then again, it is said he's stunned, his throat, Balaram and Krishna, their throats are choked up in ecstasy and they could not speak. That is Vatsalya ras. Sakhya and Vatsalya. And then he meets in a secluded place the Gopikas of Vrindavan, Madhurya ras. And there he comes in such an ecstasy where he manifests his Jagannath form. He becomes Jagannath. So ecstasy means when you are not in control. When a devotee comes in ecstasy, Krishna controls that devotee. When Krishna comes in ecstasy, Krishna is completely controlled by devotees. So how Sudama controlled Krishna, how Yashoda and... See, Krishna is not a bacha that time. Even externally, like he is not someone who can be seated on a lap. But it is said they both were seated on the lap of Nanda and Yashoda. I mean, imagine if some of you are like 25, 30 years old and your mother comes and she sits and make you sit on her lap. You will feel a little awkward. This is Krishna and Balaram. So, a lot of teachings in these two verses. And this order is given by Sanatan Goswami about solar eclipse, when it took place. A very interesting chapter. Next is how Queen Draupadi meets the wives of Krishna. And they inquired. They are saying that Draupadi, we 16,108 cannot manage one husband. And you alone are managing 5. And then Draupadi will glorify Krishna. Very beautiful chapter. And then next 84th text is the teachings of sages. So, at eclipse, the order is given, and then what happens? Now, very important is next verse also is eclipse is coming. But how it is said? In the first text it is said, Surya Uparagaha Sumahan. The great solar eclipse came. Purport is my full solar eclipse. What can be greater than full solar eclipse? Now tell me, in last 5 years, how many full solar eclipses we have seen in this world? At least 4 to 5. This was the solar eclipse. It was such a great and very rare. So we can understand if solar eclipses are increasing and if lunar eclipses are increasing, it is not auspicious. Inauspiciousness is prevailing everywhere. That's why this is happening. Some scientists are happy. Oh, more solar eclipse, more lunar eclipse, we can study. They take the aircraft and go with the eclipse. Imagine if you are sleeping in the night and suddenly you see a very horrible dream. You see some ghost in the dream. You become scared. And you immediately wake up. And you want to drink some water because throat is dried. And when you are about to take the water bottle, that same ghost is passing on water bottle to you. What will you do? You will run away. So, eclipse means Rahu is capturing the planet. Not only one person, not 2 people. He is capturing the entire planet. We should run away from Rahu, and these people want to go inside Rahu. The first thing you go to astrologer, Rahu Ketu ka dekho kya hai. That is the effect. So one person, I think in the COVID when solar eclipse was there. If you remember in the COVID that 4-5 months, 3-4 solar eclipses came. Such inauspiciousness. That's why COVID was there. So one person, he made video, I think the Indian person, he made video. See, I'm eating in solar eclipse, nothing happens to me. See, I'm going out, I'm seeing sun in eclipse, nothing happens to me. So what's the big deal? If 2 friends or 2 brothers, twin, at the age of 5, One goes sincerely to school and completes his education, graduation, post-graduation. And another says, I will not go to school, I will not study, let's see what happens. So when will the actual result come of not going to school? When both the brothers will turn to 25 and one is going to different countries for job and another is not even able to become farmer because he didn't learn farming also. So don't think that immediately if you challenge, then sometimes immediate result comes, sometimes they don't come. But eclipse is inauspicious. We say ना कि इस व्यक्ति का परछाई भी नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. Imagine some, evil person, we don't want their shadow also. As Rahu entirely is covering sun and the shadow is coming onto earth. Should we enjoy that shadow or should we run away from that shadow? But where will you run away? The shadow is large. You cannot take flight and go to another continent. So what is to be done? That is given here. And they all go to holy places. So it is said you remain in some holy river or holy pond and keep reciting the names of Lord Hari. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, that day was Purnima, but before Purnima what was there? And the same day along with Purnima was lunar eclipse. And everyone were chanting Hari 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 Hari, both sides of the river, submerged in river. So that is how we cannot go, okay, there is ocean, but we cannot go, then at least keep chanting. There are some rules and regulations, no sleeping, no eating. Keep chanting. Perform bhakti as much as possible. So that is how. Now, knowing this, all the Yadavas, they planned to go to Samanta Panchak, which is known as Kurukshetra. Samanta Panchak, as is mentioned in the purport, is when Lord Parshuram, after killing the Kshatriyas for 21 times, he went to Kurukshetra to do some tapasya. And then he dig 5 ponds. And purport says they are still today there. I haven't visited. I have seen Brahma Sarovar, which is huge. And Brahma Sarovar is the place where Arjuna's Rath was standing before the fights, before Bhagavad Gita. And Duryodhan and Bhishma's Rath were standing, their Raths were standing, their chariots were standing 4 kilometers away or 4 miles. And in between of these 2 chariots is the auspicious Jyotisar, where Lord spoke Bhagavad Gita. That's in Kurukshetra. So Brahma Sarovar, if you go, there's a huge chariot, Arjuna and Krishna. This is before Bhagavad Gita. Then he says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, take my chariot in the midst, in the middle of both the armies. So that is Jyotisar. In Udupi also, if you see, Lord Parshuram visited. And there also there are 4 ponds in Pajaka Kshetra, which is the birthplace of Sripad Madhvacharya. And there also 4 lakes are there. It is also said that Lord Parshuram had, dug them. So, good, very auspicious for all of us that Lord and His devotees, great devotees, they leave, what we can take benefit from. So then all Yadavas are coming and then everyone comes to know. So if Yadavas are coming, Kauravas are also coming. And Kauravas are coming, Yadavas are coming, then somehow the news goes. Imagine, no WhatsApp, no email, no internet, no television, no FM. But still the news used to reach. Yeah. Dr. Patel was walking in Juhu Beach with Prabhupada and he says, I want to learn Sanskrit. Why don't you arrange some teacher and your disciples also can learn, I also will learn. Prabhupada said, that is not important. Sanskrit is a medium of language. It is a medium of communication. It is a language. Whatever they know from word meaning, that is sufficient for them. Prabhupada didn't emphasize much to learn Sanskrit. So similarly, it's not that communication was not happening. When Shukadeva Goswami appeared on the scene, all the universe, all the great personalities, Brahma and Shiva, everyone came. How the communication used to happen. So it's just internet and all that. This is a very gross form of communication. Earlier there were subtle forms of communication. Still today subtle forms, they exist. Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And Prabhupada emphasized a lot on Shravanam, Kirtanam. Because when we do Shravanam, Kirtanam, the Smaranam has to come of Lord Krishna. So that is mode of communication. Smarana is mode of communication. That is the subtle form of communication. So if I am thinking about Krishna, then my consciousness is drawing more towards Krishna and Krishna is entering my consciousness. If I am thinking of Prabhupada or any other devotee, then same effect happens. But when we are not thinking about devotional things, then we think about material things because our attachment is there, our consciousness is there. That is why Prabhupada always used to say, keep yourself busy in service, because he knows the moment you don't have service, you will think of material sense enjoyment. And that is where, when you think of material sense enjoyment, immediately what happens? Your energy gets connected, your consciousness gets connected to that material object, and that comes. Read 11th canto, Hamsa Avatar. That is where the question was asked by four Kumaras. Four Kumaras asking Brahmaji that objects of sense gratification, they enter in consciousness, mind, and mind is entering the objects. How to, disassociate them? And Brahma does not know the answer, though Hamsa Avatar comes. Very beautiful answers, very, very beautiful, very, philosophical understanding. If you want to avoid sense gratification, if you want to go away, you should read that. So, that is how we connect. That is communication. If you think of an evil person, you become evil. That is why they said, don't blaspheme, don't judge, don't criticize, don't see the fault in others. Even if someone has fault, if that is the reality, and if I see the fault, those faults will transfer in me. Try it out. It will work. And if you glorify a devotee for the good qualities he has, those good qualities will enter in your consciousness. That is mode of communication. So that exists, still exists. It will not go away. So that is how when Nanda Baba and others, they came to know, so they also thought, if Krishna is coming from Dwarka from so far, we are in Vrindavan, let's go to Kurukshetra. Let us meet Krishna. And it said, the topics after meeting, the only discussion in the entire Kurukshetra was about Krishna. Obviously, only personalities who has faith on scriptures will come to Kurukshetra. I don't see the name of Duryodhana. I don't know whether he came or not. At least his name is not mentioned. Dhritarashtra, Bhishma and others. So obviously they have some connection to Vedic scriptures and Krishna. Now, it is said, solar and lunar eclipses are generally very inauspicious, with certain rare exceptions. But, now this is very interesting. Just as the otherwise inauspicious Ekadashi, we always hear, Ekadashi is mother of devotion, Bhakti Janani, Madhava Tithi, Bhakti Janani. How come Ekadashi becomes inauspicious? It's mentioned there. So, many of the auspicious days which we celebrate have a background which is inauspicious. Sankranti. The name itself says Sankranti means संक्रमण हो रहा है. Sun is being attacked by that particular zodiac sign, like Makara Sankranti. Jai Shri Shri Radharas Bihari Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shri Gaunita hai ki. So like Makara Sankranti, we have listed so many auspicious things happened on that day. Mother Ganga came to earth. So many Magh Mela starts. But it also has a background that is inauspicious. So some of the days which are inauspicious, Krishna very mercifully and our acharyas have turned it out, like they were turning the tables. They turned it out and made it most auspicious. And that is why it is said Ekadashi we should perform more bhajan. Astronomically speaking, Ekadashi is the 11th day of waxing and waning moon. And 11th day of moon, which is waxing or waning, Shukla Paksh or Krishna Paksh, it affects mind very badly. You will see Ekadashi, if you are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, your mind will be agitated, you will become more rebellious, you will become more argumentative, you will have fight, that will happen. And that's why our acharyas very mercifully do more bhajan, because Ekadashi is auspicious. And that's why it is said, just as otherwise inauspicious Ekadashi becomes beneficial when used for the glorification of Lord Hari. So anyone who is not engaged, you see on Ekadashi day, a lot of negativity will come. For one who is not engaged in bhajan. Similarly, Makara Sankranti. So all these days they have been transformed for our benefit. Otherwise, they have a lot of negative influence on our mind. So, very important that we take benefit of the instructions given by Krishna or our acharyas, especially on those particular days. That do this, especially Ekadashi. Why Ekadashi? More bhajan. Yes, you get more benefit. But why? Because otherwise you will get influenced by the negativity of this world. Your mind will influence you. Just observe. Just observe. Next Ekadashi is coming, observe yourself. So that is why chant more, read more. Once one devotee asked, Prabhupada, we have heard you said that we should chant 25 rounds. Prabhupada said yes. Some places Prabhupada says 25 rounds, some places Prabhupada says 64 rounds. At one place Prabhupada said, I did not say on Ekadashi you should chant 25 rounds. I said, don't stop chanting. Don't stop chanting, whole day just chant. And that's why if you see many of the devotees, now some devotees, but earlier also devotees, whole night of Ekadashi they'll do kirtan. It's because inauspiciousness will come. So more and more we have to be drawn towards Krishna by the help of this bhakti, process of bhakti. Otherwise we will be influenced. So be very, very careful. Especially in these days, and that is why our acharyas have emphasized on these auspicious. They become auspicious because if you practice bhajan, and whenever you practice bhajan, that is auspicious. There is no muhurata for Krishna consciousness. For bhakti, there is no muhurata. Even when someone is burning the body of his relative, even that time we chant Hare Krishna only. Holy name is so powerful. We are carrying the dead body, going to cremation ground, and we are chanting the names of Krishna and Rama. And people say that holy name should not be chanted in auspicious places or in auspicious time. We know that incident where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing and Gopal Guru, one person is trying to hold the tongue because he is incessantly chanting the holy name of Krishna. And this boy, Gopal, 5 years old boy, says, no, he was not ready to chant in bathroom. But holy name is chanted even when we are carrying the dead body. Dead body is considered to be very inauspicious. If you touch them, you have to take bath with your clothes on. You have to wash everything. But that time we are chanting. So bhakti is so powerful, holy name is so powerful that it cannot be influenced by anything. Now how to chant, that also Prabhupada has given. We are not chanting very sincerely. See, there is something called sincere practice of Krishna consciousness, and one is advancement. Advancement, okay, we are not advanced, but if we are sincere, we can advance. Recently, one WhatsApp message was getting circulated everywhere about weakness of heart. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says, there's a difference between weakness of heart and cheating tendency. Arjuna didn't want to fight. Krishna says, Hridayam Daurbalya Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. This is weakness of heart. Arjuna is not having cheating propensity. If we are having cheating propensity, we will suffer. And what is the most abominable cheating propensity? What is the most inauspicious cheating propensity? Yeah. Srila Prabhupada was told in one morning walk in US, he was told that Prabhupada, some of the devotees in our temple, they are not coming for Mangalarti, they are not coming for Bhagavatam class, they are not attending any puja, we don't know whether they are following principles. They say, just by chanting Hare Krishna, we will go back to Godhead. Who said? Prabhupada said. In scriptures it is mentioned. So Prabhupada said, yes, if by chanting they will go back to Godhead, but inattentive chanting. Without offenses. Attentive, but without offenses. So if 10 offenses are happening, and if someone is not... So Prabhupada told us that this is given in scriptures, and follow this. And then we read scriptures, and then we tell Prabhupada, I am following this because it is mentioned here, I will not follow you. That's what they were doing. That this is the most abominable cheating propensity we can have. There we challenge Prabhupada and we challenge Krishna. We challenge scriptures. Ultimately we will be nowhere. So Prabhupada says, if you are chanting holy name with offenses, any of the 10 offenses, then you cannot go back to Godhead. And what are the offenses? To blaspheme a devotee. Third offense is to consider the spiritual master an ordinary person. So Prabhupada is not ordinary. And Prabhupada is telling you to come for Mangala Arati. Prabhupada is telling you to attend program. Then you are not attending. Prabhupada says you cannot jump over an acharya. You cannot jump over your own spiritual master. So Prabhupada said they will not go back to Godhead. They are simply fooling themselves, cheating themselves. So many times it has been seen, and that is why Prabhupada said the last snare of Maya, when a jiva thinks he is Krishna. So he's challenging Krishna. Okay, you are God, but I am not less. So let's come on the field. Like this fellow, Pandrak, no? The 2 duplicate hands. So Fevicol maybe use them as a brand ambassador. How he got 2 duplicate hands, stick on his shoulder. He came as Chaturbhuji. And he's telling Krishna that Sudarshan Chakra is mine. Krishna's one name is Chakri, because he holds the Sudarshan Chakra. That chakra is mine. It's not yours, does not belong to you. Leave it. Give it up right now. Krishna says, okay, as you say. And Krishna left the Sudarshan Chakra. And then it goes Sudarshan Chakra and destroys Pandrak. So, this is most abominable cheating tendency. We may cheat anyone, we cannot cheat the person who has given us Krishna consciousness. We cannot cheat Krishna. So if devotees, if someone has told us how to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we cannot teach him what we should do. So that etiquette, and that is why this chapter is also very important. You will see lot of etiquettes, Vaishnava etiquette in this chapter. How people are meeting with each other, how Krishna is meeting with devotees, how devotees are meeting with other devotees. Such wonderful Vaishnava Sadachar is being exhibited here. So most abominable, most inauspicious cheating tendency is to go against Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Rest all they can take care. But if you go against Guru, who will take care? He can take care of everything. He can tolerate your nonsense. But if you go against him, or if we go against him, then he cannot do anything. So there is a difference between anarthas and aparadh. Anartha is a weakness of heart. I have that because of my long association with material world. But aparadh is the tendency which we have to, it happens, many of the time it happens intentionally also. When you intentionally want to destroy the body or a name of a devotee, that is aparadh. Intentionally. See, lust, anger, greed, these are all anarthas. But aparadh is very dangerous. Anarthas will go away by practice of bhakti. They are very mild in front of aparadhs. There is the difference between papa and aparadh, sin and offense. Sin can be cleared, offense is very grave. It may go on for lifetimes, the effect of offenses. So be very careful. And that's why do not try to jump over Prabhupada or a spiritual master or scriptures, sadhus. Just tolerate, learn to tolerate. See how Sudama's chapter, Sudama taught us a wonderful thing. So we just learn to tolerate. So convert all your inauspiciousness into auspiciousness by chanting of holy name. But Vaishnavas, Paradukha Dukhi, they are not selfish. So they want to convert the inauspiciousness of everyone in the world into auspiciousness by distributing the books. So we distribute more books as we have got benefit. At least we have got knowledge and we are in the process to attain more and more benefit. Similarly, we want to give this knowledge to others so that they can benefit. A real Vaishnava is one who will understand the pain of others and he will cry and do something. And that is why he will distribute books. He will distribute holy name, he will distribute prasadam. But books, if someone gets prasad, okay, he is benefited. But again, he may eat or he may not eat. He may start eating again abominable things. One may chant holy name, but he may leave. Because if there is no philosophical support, then he will not be able to continue. So that is why books, if you give him a book, he will chant also, he will eat prasad also. Prabhupada visited Africa, I think somewhere outskirts of Kenya, or Nairobi, somewhere Prabhupada went. Traveling and like forest. And they saw one building. So there was a school. So Prabhupada said, okay, let us wait here and go to washroom or take some prasadam. And as soon as Prabhupada got down with few other devotees, in few minutes, the principal of the school came running. And he bowed down. Prostrated obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was wondering, and devotees are amazed, what is happening? And the wife came of the principal. And then he got up. He said, so who are you? Do I know you? Have you ever met me? Because that time was not YouTube. No? Oh, Prabhupada, I have seen you on YouTube. Your channel is there. Prabhupadsmercy.com. I have seen that. There was no YouTube. So then he said, actually, once I traveled to a foreign nation and I got one of your book which has your photo. See, Prabhupada's books, having Prabhupada's photo is very important. Because, So many devotees met Prabhupada like that. So he said, I read the book. In your book you mention that we should chant 16 rounds. So me and my wife and our kids, we are all chanting 16 rounds. And you also mention we should eat only prasadam. So whatever we cook, whatever is mentioned in your books, we offer it to Krishna, vegetarian food, and then we eat it. And they were wearing kantimala. और ये कैसे हो गया? No, because you said the devotees have neck beads. So any of the Prabhupada book is complete, Purnam. Every one of Prabhupada books is Purnam. And this fellow started chanting 16 hours with his wife, with his kids. He's reciting slokas and all that. Assembly school principal. Imagine. Then once His Holiness Indudum Maharaj told that what happened, there was in Malaysia or Singapore somewhere, there was a Rath Yatra. And they were all preparing for Rath Yatra. And one person comes from nowhere, like a madman. He is pushing Ratha. He is pushing the chariot with his head. So devotee said, what are you doing? Are you mad about? Why you because he was not a devotee. Why are you pushing the chariot with your head? Do you think you can do it? No, I have seen Lord Chaitanya doing this. How do you know? No, I got from someone, Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was reading and I found it. So many devotees you hear, and then the nectar of book distribution will never get over. So this is the only nectar which we can enjoy in material worlds. Bhavananda Prabhu, he got the name Bhavananda. Everyone was, kind of teasing him. What kind of name Prabhupada is giving? What is Bhavananda? Bhava means this material world. Where is Ananda? Prabhupada in all his books and lectures, he said there is no Ananda in this material world and your name is Bhavananda. What kind of name you have? So he was all new boys. And he went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, what kind of name you have given me? Bhavananda. What is Bhavananda? There is Krishnananda or, spiritual world there is Ananda. What is that? So Prabhupada, he says, he looks at Bhavananda Prabhu and he says, yes, there is no Ananda in this material world. But there is one such Ananda in material world, which is not available even in the spiritual world. And everyone was amazed. What is that Ananda which is not even available in spiritual world, available in material world? Papa said, that Ananda is Ananda of preaching. When you see someone is not devotee, it's Bahirmukha of Krishna, and you make him a devotee by distributing holy name, by distributing books, and he becomes a devotee, that Ananda you won't find even in spiritual world, because spiritual world everyone is a devotee. Do you think Krishna will tell all the sakhas, come, now sit, I am going to speak Bhagavad Gita. Do you think any of the Sakha will listen to Krishna's discourse on Bhagavad Gita? They'll not even bother. You want to speak, you speak alone. We are going for playing. We're not interested. Do you think you can tell Yashoda Mata, come and sit for Bhagavatam class? She will tell you your Bhagavatam class, you speak about the personality, he's sitting on my lap. So where is the preaching facility? In this material world. And that gives the highest Ananda in this material world. So please distribute these books, Prabhupada books, make Prabhupada glorious, make Krishna glorious, and make yourself glorious, and make others glorious. Prabhupada said, our mission means chant Hare Krishna and preach Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Marathon ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Maharaj, any comments you would like to give? Hare Krishna.